Currently in Bari, Italy. Bari is the capital of Puglia, which, for those of you not familiar with Italy, is the region that takes up the heel of the boot. I took an overnight ferry from Vlore, or as the Italians call it, Verona, and it's about a 7-hour ferry ride, but it's super easy. You get on the ferry, I always get a cabin, go to your room, go to sleep, wake up in Italy. If you are going to take the ferries to or from Italy and the Balkan countries, I highly recommend you take the nighttime overnight ferry and then just get yourself a cabin, so that essentially all you do once you check in and make it through customs is you check in with reception. They'll go ahead and give you their key, and then you'll just go check into your cabin, your room, where you can sleep and then literally wake up in the destination country. As you can see, the cabins are small, they're quite modest. They usually have bunks or 2 beds, next to each other on the ground. This one has a small bathroom. Not all of them do. So when you're booking, make sure if you want a small bathroom that you get one. The ship also has lounges like this where you can get up in the morning and you can have your coffee. They do have a restaurant. I didn't eat, but you can get on the ship, eat your dinner, go to bed. This is while we were arriving in Italy. And yeah, you'll just wake up in the morning and you're arrived. You'll leave the ship and go through customs, and there you are. A couple reasons that I came here. One was just to get away. I've been in Albania much longer than I normally am. And the other reasons were shopping, because Italy, of course, Albania doesn't have a huge variety of shopping, particularly where I am, but come on, Italy for shopping, of course. And then the other is to see Christmas decorations. And the other reason is, of course, the food, which is proving to be a bit of a challenge this time because I can't eat tomatoes. So that's difficult to navigate. However, Bari and the Puglia region in general are seafood is a really, really big part of the cuisine. So I'm confident that I'll be able to kind of move a little bit outside of the traditional Italian cuisine of pizzas and pastas. I would love to eat the famous one here is the spaghetti all'assassina, but it's tomato based, so I'm probably not going to be able to try that. But anyway, here we are for some spectacular shopping, which I'm actually surprised. I've been to Bari before, but I guess I just didn't realize the shopping was this good. And Christmas decorations, I'm also surprised. For some reason, I wasn't expecting the Italians to go this hard for Christmas, and the lights and decorations have been absolutely spectacular. I will also walk you through my Airbnb, which I absolutely adore. This is one of the few Airbnbs I would make a point of coming back to again. A few things to know about Bari and the Puglia region in general. This is a lesser known area for Americans, not totally unknown. Puglia is popular for tourists, particularly Italian and European tourists, and for good reason. It's a beautiful, beautiful area with incredible seaside and food, and Puglia and Bari specifically has some of the best food in all of Italy, in my humble opinion. If you've seen videos of the Italian grandmas, the nonne, that make pasta, they sit outside and they make pasta, that's here in Bari. I'm not sure if they're doing it right now because it's winter, but we'll find out. Bari is, I just saw an article that they're starting direct flights from New York. I think there's going to be 1 direct flight from New York. So if that gives you an idea, it's a bit harder for Americans to access. It takes a bit longer flight time, but oh, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. The Puglia and the south of Italy. They are some of the most hospitable, kindest of the Italians that I've met. The food, like I said, you can't like, the food in Puglia is out of this world. It's so good. People are kind, they're hospitable, it's beautiful. And I mean, not just the nature, like of course the seaside and the beaches are stunning, but of course you have the, you know, typical Italian charm of the old towns and the stunning buildings. And it's just one of my favorite areas in Italy altogether. So yeah, let me show you Bari. When I tell you I was shocked at the quantity of Christmas decorations and lights in Bari, I don't know why, but I was just not expecting them to go this hard and for it to be this festive. And the markets, the booths, the handmade items, it was just really incredible, along with all the lights. This is the main shopping street, and these light decorations are they were phenomenal. These lights went on for the entire shopping district, and it just created an incredible, magical holiday ambiance that well exceeded my expectations. They had this family area with like a cute little ice skating rink, although it was rollerblading, Santa Claus, and you know, this little area for families and kids. This is the street, like the secondary shopping street that's kind of right next to the main shopping street. Another thing that isn't pictured here is all on the outside of the old town were more Christmas market booths. It was really just so incredible, well exceeded my expectations, and I would absolutely go back to Bari for Christmas. This is my Bari Airbnb, the one that I stayed in the old town. It's so cute. It's just a small little Airbnb, probably not great if you have a family, but for 1 or 2 people, it's perfect. I think I've stayed in probably 5 or 6 Airbnbs in Bari throughout my various trips, and this is my favorite one. As you can see, it's small, but it's well done. It's renovated. It doesn't, you know, sometimes you get into these old stone buildings and it can feel a little damp or mildewy. This one didn't. This is looking out into the old town just outside the window. It was also right on the edge of the old town on the city side, which made it a super convenient location. Highly recommend. All right, let me take you through the old town of Bari, maybe one of my favorite old towns. It's not only so charming, but it's so lively. You could really spend quite an amount of time just wandering through the streets, but definitely make sure you make it out here towards this medieval castle. I believe this was built in 1132, and you can do a full tour. You will find maybe the best gelato in all of Italy around this location, and I will put the specific location in my Substack. Near the castle, this is the street, the famous street with the Italian grandmas that hand make the pasta. You cannot miss this in Bari. You really cannot. They had to get special permission to be able to do this because obviously, you know, food standards have increased over the years, but they really wanted to hang on to this tradition and allow the nonne to continue to make their pasta. So absolutely make it over this way. Continue to wander the streets of Bari. This church is fabulous. And in the summer, you will find many weddings here, which means you will find many Italian men in beautiful blue, usually suits. Some other things to do in the old town, of course, are eat and shop. A few closing thoughts on Bari now that I'm back home. One is I ended up extending my trip. Originally, I was going to spend like 3 to 4 days in Bari, and then I was going to take the high-speed train to Rome, which takes about 4 hours. But I ended up deciding not to go to Rome and staying in Bari. And the main reason for that was that it was cold. And Bari is a much smaller city. So that meant I could be in my apartment, I could go out, I could do my shopping, I could eat. And I didn't have to go take the metro, go take a train and then connect to a metro or call a taxi like I would have had to do in Rome. And I could just see myself, with as cold as it was and the fact that it rains pretty frequently, you know, in this part of the world this time of year, I could really just see myself not wanting to leave my hotel or Airbnb in Rome because of the cold. So I decided to just stay in Bari and do all of my shopping in Bari. And I'm super, super glad that I did. On shopping in Bari, Bari is, there's a shopping street in Bari. I'll put all the details on this in my Substack article on my Bari trip. But there's a shopping street that has like all of your designer stores, your Gucci's, your whatever. It also has, you know, your fast fashion, your Zara. There's no Mango in Bari, but there's H&M, there's Zara, there's the Italian brands of Intimissimi and Calzedonia. I hope I said that correctly. But the surprising thing for me in Bari, which for some reason I just didn't realize, was all of the Italian brands and how, first of all, of course, the quality is fantastic, but also how accessible they were. Like, it was super easy to go into multiple stores that had like Italian boots or Italian leather jackets, or I went into one store that was bras, and it was an Italian brand, not Intimissimi, which is a much more popular brand. But when you walk into the store, they fit, the woman fit, you know, she measured me, she fitted me, and then she hand-picked like a bunch of bras that were perfect for me. I didn't end up buying any because I have horrible sensory issues, and anything itchy or the clasps, so like my bras have to be like buttery soft or I just can't wear them. But I will go back to Bari to shop specifically for the Italian brands. You could find silk sheets, silk pillowcases, like I said, shoes, like so many different pairs of shoes, local cashmere shops, and all very affordable. Like, I think you could easily get like a nice pair of leather boots. I'm kicking myself for not buying the pair that I saw for like €100, so like 110 US dollars. You could, I think, cashmere sweaters, maybe like €100. The bras were like 45, 50 euro, like not outrageously expensive, right? Like if you were to go try to find like an Italian brand in the US, you're going to pay a lot of money for that. But here it really wasn't expensive. Another thing that I wish that I will go back for, that I wish I'd spent more time on, were the local vintage shops and markets, because there are a lot of those in Bari as well. And if they are anything like the markets and vintage shops in Rome, I'm going to need some time. So yeah, shopping in Bari well exceeded my expectations. And I didn't even make it. There's a designer outlet mall that there's transportation from Bari to. I didn't even make it there. I particularly, as far as fast fashion goes, I like Mango. There are Mangoes like in the Puglia area, but not in Bari, that I could have taken a train to. I didn't do that. But well exceeded my expectations. So I will absolutely be going back and doing more in-depth like shopping trips and shopping content in Bari. Food in Bari? Okay. Food in Bari, Puglia, first of all, has some of the best food in all of Italy. Like, they eat well. It is not common to find bad food in the south of Italy. Unlike in places like Rome, where it's very common to find like not very good touristy food. In the south of Italy, that is difficult. Now, I think I had one meal that I didn't like. I really didn't like it. And that was a bagel shop, not run by Italians. And before you get on me for eating bagels in Italy, my boyfriend, he is from Bari and he cooked for me daily. So I had my fill of that area's Italian food. And what I desperately needed after like a year in Albania was some food variety. So I really sought out this trip Indian food. I sought out cheeseburgers. I had the best cheeseburger I've had in all of Europe in Bari, and I'll put that location in my Substack. I had sushi. Okay, Italians love sushi, so you can find good sushi in Bari. I found a great location, like a really nice high-end location for sushi, and I ate that. I tried the bagel place, etc. So I really didn't go like all in on Italian food. I did find one of the things that the south of Italy, actually almost all of Italy, does really well are sandwiches. I found an incredible sandwich shop in Bari that I would go and just get like a sandwich with burrata and sun-dried tomato, and I don't remember what else was on it, but it was unbelievable, and it was €5. So I ate that pretty frequently. I'll put that location in my Substack. But Bari and all of Puglia, because it's right on the sea, both sides, right? It's the heel of the boot. They have just tons of seafood. They have your traditional classic, for that area, Italian dishes like pasta all'assassina. That's the one where they cook it in the pan and they burn it. And of course the pastries and things that are custom to that area as well, which again, I'll put all that in my Substack. But yeah, food in Bari, like you really aren't probably going to be disappointed, particularly if you stick with Italian food. But even then, like Southern Italians eat well. They eat well. So as long as the place that you're going has people going to it, it's probably good. Some thoughts on where to stay. So I'll put the map in my Substack, but Bari is not a huge city, right? So you have the train station, and then, walking from the train station, you walk down the main shopping street, and then that leads you directly to the old town. I recommend staying either like in the old town, particularly on the city side of the old town, so you're just a little bit closer. It's not really that big of a deal. The old town is cute and charming, and it's not that big, but I think it is a little more convenient to stay on that side. Stay on the shopping street. I stayed there for a few days. I was pleasantly surprised that it is not loud. Like my Airbnb, I really didn't get the street noise from the very busy shopping street. Or stay in the area called Murat, or down across the water, but all of it is very close together. Like you really, don't have to go far to get anywhere in Bari, which is something that I really, really like about it. But again, I'll try to put the specific locations, and I'll put the location of my Airbnb, the Old Town Airbnb that I stayed at, in my Substack, so that you can find that there. Lastly, Southern Italy, in my opinion, has the most beautiful men in the world, and they look so sharp. Southern Italians, they're gorgeous. I'll get into that more. I'm going to put that in my Substack, where I talk more about like dating in Italy and dating Italian men. And I have a lot to say since I've spent a good amount of time with an Italian from Bari recently. So I'll put all of that in my Substack, and let me know in the comments if there's more that you want to hear about Bari, if there's more you want to hear about Puglia or anything else. So yeah, thanks for watching.